watching KSL Sports Live.
The 16th-ranked Utah women on the road taking on 25th-ranked Oregon State. The Utes fell behind early and had a tough time climbing back in it, but Alyssa Peely does her best. The and one cuts the lead to 13. Reagan Beers had a big game for Oregon State. She had 20. That bucket put the Beavers up by 21. Third quarter, Lily Hansford, her second of back-to-back threes, and they're up by 30. Peely finished with a game-high 28, but the Utes get run out of the building, 91-66. It's not March yet, but it's tough not to get excited about the potential of 3 men's teams in the NCAA tournament. The latest version of Joe Lunardi's bracketology has BYU a 5 seed, Utah State a 6 seed, and Utah a 7 seed.
That's something to definitely get excited about. On Saturday, the Aggies and Cougars each had a chance to add some resume-building wins to their seasons as well. Saturday afternoon, sellout crowd at the Marriott Center saw the 21st-ranked Cougars shoot 64% from the field in a 12-point win over the Texas Longhorns. Jackson Robinson and Noah Waterman both scored 17 points in the starting lineup. But it was the presence on offense and defense of Fousseyni Traore off the bench that made the difference. 6 of 7 shooting, 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 blocks. An inside presence that the Cougars have missed as Fous has worked his way back from a hamstring injury.
I thought he was super deliberate, and I thought he brought a real physicality to the game.
Man, we need him. Obviously, it showed in this game for sure. Like Coach said, we need him to be aggressive, and he looked just like that this game. He was making amazing passes out of the short roll, making sure he found the open teammate. He found Noah on the perimeter, and Noah knocked down a few shots. But like I said, we need him big time.
Utah State had a chance for a statement road win Saturday. First place on the line in Boise. Another dramatic game involving the Aggies down 2 with 7 seconds left. Ian Martinez drives to the hoop and ties it at the buzzer. The Aggies force overtime against the Broncos. They go on to dominate the extra 5 minutes. Josh Aduje dunks in 2 of his 18 points off the bench. Aggies all alone in first in the Mountain West, 18-2 on the season, 6-1 in conference. They host San Jose State on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think it shows our team believes. Our team, they believe they can win. And they've proved it. We've played some really good teams in the non-conference, and like I said, this was our first quad win on the road. But in an environment like that, that takes guts.
Gets a layup. The Mountain West Conference could have about 5 tournament teams in March. Nevada, New Mexico, 2 of those teams going head-to-head on Sunday at the Pit. New Mexico would turn it up in the second half. Jalen House, remember the name, on the break, hits the 3. Few possessions later, House and 1. He finished with 21 points. New Mexico adds a quad 1 win to the belt. All right, we have more from Sunday in the NBA. Grizzlies taking on the Pacers. Jaren Jackson Jr., the steal, coast to coast, the slam and the foul. Under a minute to go in the third. Ben Shepherd gets the steal. He's going to find Benedict Mathurin, and watch out for the poster. He led the Pacers with 24 points. Later in the fourth, Pacers on the break again. Pascal Siakam gets through traffic for the layup. Siakam finished with 19 points. Pacers win 116-110.
If you're a Detroit sports fan, it might not be all bad today. Okay, nobody cares about the Pistons in Detroit. Thunder versus Pistons. Alec Burks, former Jazzman with the steal. Kevin Knox on the alley-oop. We'll go to the fourth quarter, and Pistons having some fun. Burks to Asar Thompson. And the Pistons beat the Thunder 120-104. Free wings in Detroit.
This place is going to be packed next week now that Lions fans don't have anything to watch. Hey, you know what Ryan Smith had to say about the NHL coming to Utah? Well, we'll share that with you coming up next
week. We love to turn back the clock on KSL Sports Live and dig up some old gems in our KSL Sports video archive. Tonight we hop into the time machine for January 29th, 1984. 40 years ago, the Utah Jazz had a huge impact on NBA All-Star Weekend in 1984. Dr. Duncanstein, Darrell Griffith was in the slam dunk contest. Adrian Dantley made his 4th of 6 All-Star appearances, just 2 points, 1 of 8 from the field, the fastest of them all. Ricky Green made his first and only All-Star appearance. He had 6 points, 11 assists, and a steal in 19 minutes. Even head coach Frank Layden and his staff coached the West All-Stars. Magic Johnson's shot at the buzzer just missed, and Frank Layden's reaction to the miss priceless, like all the rest of us watching. So was his post-All-Star game reaction back in 1984.
Being here and being part of this is something that I'm never going to forget. I got a tape of it, and I plan to play it very often, you know. And, you know, I'm America's coach, and this is America's team, and here I had the All-Stars, and to me, I really mean this. You know, I have bad peripheral vision. I thought that damn ball was going in. If I hadn't thought that, I was going to run around and suck it in. All right? I would have just got everybody in the end line to hold their breath and pull it in. But that was a lot of fun. It was great, and I didn't want it to end. I wanted the game to be 5 overtimes. Make it last, you know? But it was good.
Is this the best thing that's ever happened to you as far as your career?
No.
The most fun thing?
Well, no. My honeymoon was a lot of fun. All right? But next to that, it was good.
More Frank Layden, please. All right. The excitement in our state for major sports is at an all-time high. The Utah Jazz, they continue to show signs of improvement in the midst of their rebuild. The Olympics are just an official announcement away from returning to Utah. The LHM group makes a very strong pitch that they want big league baseball here. And now Ryan Smith and Smith Entertainment Group making it public this week. They want the NHL in Utah as well. The Smith Entertainment Group issued an official request to have the NHL explore the possibility of expansion here in Utah. Smith said they could host the NHL as soon as next season, using the Delta Center as a temporary home until a new state-of-the-art hockey-specific arena is built. He was on the Pat McAfee show this past week saying he not only wants the NHL, but is ready for it right now.
On our side, we're all in. I mean, I think that's the most important thing is that we get lined up. I think we've gotten and established a pretty good relationship with Gary Bettman and Bill and the crew over there for a couple years now. If you look at the momentum of Utah, we've got to put something in front of them that's pretty tough for them to turn down. And I think we've done that. We want to be ready to go. We know it's going to be successful. Utah is excited about it, as you've seen the reaction. And so we're leaning all the way in.
So the question now, would the NHL even consider expansion? Well, the league already has 32 teams, which is kind of that sweet spot for pro sports leagues. Commissioner Gary Bettman said just last week that he's had conversations with Smith and others, but the league is not committed to expansion right now.
Is expansion on the horizon again at some point here?
You know, expansion, as we've done it in the past, we would say we're going to think about expanding, submit an application. We're not in an expansion process, and we're not going to do that. But we are getting expressions of interest from places like Quebec City, Atlanta, Houston, Salt Lake City. We haven't decided to do anything, but we listen, and maybe at some point we'll do something, and maybe we won't. But we're not committed to expansion at this point.
All right, Kings and Blues in NHL action tonight. We go to the first period. Nick Leddy with a slap shot, tying everything up at 1. And in the end of the second period, Philip Denal with the wrist shot, tying it up at 3-all. Now we go to overtime where Braden Shen gets a nice shot there for the winner. Blues get their 5th straight win, 4-3.
All right, the LHM group is not taking any pressure off of Major League Baseball to get a team to Utah one way or another. This week, they added to their message to the Oakland A's with 7 billboards across the state, simply stating, Utah wants the A's. The A's are considering playing in Utah for 3 seasons beginning in 2025, while construction on their stadium in Las Vegas continues until it's complete in 2028.
And I'm not so sure that Vegas wants them. There's a lot of stuff going on. We don't have time to get into that, but it would be really interesting to see the A's here. All right, the Utah Jazz have been on the road for 8 days, and after a rough start, they seem to be back on track.
They ended a 3-game losing skid on Thursday in Washington, followed by another win Saturday in Charlotte.
And man, was it impressive. The Jazz came out on fire in the first quarter. They exploded for 47 points in the first 12 minutes. Lauri Markkanen combined for, and Colin Sexton combined for 35 points and 7 3-pointers in the quarter, 9 threes as a team in that quarter. 47 points is the most points allowed in a first quarter by the Charlotte Hornets in franchise history. Markkanen finished the game with 33 points, 12 rebounds. Sexton, 24 points, 13 assists. The team had 17 total threes in the game. The Jazz built a 36-point lead and then held off a second-half rally from the Hornets to move to 24 and 23 on the season. The Jazz wrap up the trip with a back-to-back Monday and Tuesday in the Big Apple against the Nets in Brooklyn and the Knicks at MSG.
With the trade deadline approaching, now just 11 days away, Yahoo Sports has reported this past week that Jazz guards Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson, and Talen Horton-Tucker are available for trade. Now, whether trades are made or not, that's another story. This Jazz roster knows, though, they're good enough to string together several wins, but it takes more than just a couple of stars to get it done.
Yeah, we need everybody, and of course that helps when we have good guys coming off the bench and putting really good games together, and that gives our team best chance to win the game. So, I think that's been the whole strength of this team the whole year, that we can have multiple guys really put up numbers and impact the game on multiple different areas. So.
Monday night, Joel Embiid scored 70 points in a game. Same night, Karl Anthony Towns had 62. Friday night, Luka Doncic goes for, 73? Devin Booker was 62. What was in the water in the NBA this week?
How about more from the NBA today? Suns and Magic in the second quarter. Jalen Suggs alley-oop to Wendell Carter Jr. The Magic were down by 2. In the third quarter, Devin Booker had another big game. That three puts Phoenix up 67-59. Later in the third, Booker gets the three off before the clock. Phoenix up 74-63, but the Suns lost that lead, and under 3 minutes to go in the game. How about Paolo Banchero with the putback slam? Orlando up 110-94. Booker did have 44, but Orlando wins the game 113-98.
Our Any Hour Services play of the day happened in the Raptors-Hawks game. Raptors trying to take the lead. Scotty Barnes and Grady Dick, they miss. Trae Young's got the ball, and all they got to do is go to the foul line and win this. But look what happens. Trae, what you doing? Scotty Barnes dunks in 2 to take the lead. Hawks are losing, but they have time. Trae Young for the win? No, but guess who's there? Sadiq Bey. The putback slam game winner. Bey finishes with 26 points. And Quinn Snyder and the Hawks get the win at home. College hoops. North Texas taking on number 23 FAU, and it came down to the last shot.
Controlling it. Puts up the three. It's good.
Janelle Davis hits the big three-pointer to take the lead. Davis finished with 28 points. And that Final Four team from last year, FAU, avoids the upset.
In February of 2020, Abby Paulson was a freshman on the Utah gymnastics team. In a meet against UCLA, Paulson was on the beam. The final routine of that meet, she had to be perfect or Utah would lose the meet. On that day, Paulson was perfect, a 10, the only perfect 10 of her career. Well, on Friday night, the fifth-year senior was on the beam against Arizona State. She was outstanding, nearly duplicating that 10, recording a 9.975 for the Red Rocks, and she continued her strong night with a floor routine worthy of a 9.925 from the judges. There was no letting ASU back in this one. The Utes defeat Arizona State 197.675 to 196.7 behind Paulson's routines, getting that win.
All right, to RSL, multiple assistant coaches on Pablo Mastroeni's staff will relieve of their duties this past offseason, and RSL legend Jason Kreis is back with the organization, this time as the team's director of operations and special projects. The club also parted ways with former captain and all-star Damir Kreilach, but added 6 players in the MLS draft, and then there's Diego Luna, who's been training with the U.S. men's national team. He's expected to take a big jump this season.
I think I performed well there, so I think just going off that and continue the momentum and heading to Portugal, and then the next 2 weeks after that, getting ready for that game. So I'm excited, and I think it's just about continue to do what I'm doing. Yeah, I think today was my first day back in training, so I think I got to meet the coaches and I got to talk to all the players and connect with them, so it was good, and everyone seems really nice, and I'm excited for this year.
All right, there it is in all its glory, the KSL Sports app. Download that thing to your phone or device today and enjoy complete serenity.